Hello everybody, welcome to another edition of Weekly Insight. I'm Michael Hennessey and I'm the pastor here at Cornerstone Church here at Epping. Our motto is we are a junction church and we help people get to where they need to go to in God. We're a junction church. If you're here in Epping, you're more than welcome to come and visit us. We've been doing a series over the last couple of weeks called Call to Run, and it just basically talks all about how as Christians we are called to run and the race that God has set before us, and the challenges, the internal challenges that are associated with that calling, with that running. And we've covered so far the internal challenge of isolation, how that can stop us from running. The internal challenge of impurity, how that can stop us from running as well. And the last one I want to cover in this series is the don't know where to look, is the challenge of impatience. Now, let me just share with you a verse. We've been looking at this verse quite a lot lately. It's Hebrews chapter 12, verse 1, and it says, "Therefore, since we also are surrounded with so great a cloud of witnesses, let us lay aside every weight and the sin which so easily besets us, and let us run with patience the race that is set before us." You know, why do we stop running sometimes? I think sometimes as Christians, the reason why we stop running is because we get impatient and we forget that the prize is not just around the corner, but it's a long way off, but it's there if we keep on running towards it. The life of the Spirit, God's race for us, is characterized by patience. The life of the flesh is characterized by impatience, isn't it? It really is. And if you look at the sad story of David and how he was on the rooftop and how he saw the girl Bathsheba and he took her into his bed and he satisfied the cravings of his flesh, and it was a very, very sad story. But basically the mistake that David made was that he couldn't wait. He couldn't wait. And that's a pretty common thing to happen to people who live according to their flesh. Their flesh will tell them their fleshly cravings will dictate to them that they need what they have, they need this particular thing and they need it now. They can't wait for it. That's what characterizes the life of the flesh. But the call to run that we have as believers is characterized not by impatience, but it's characterized by patience. It's a long way to the finish line, but by patience we're going to get there. By patience, we're going to get there, and we're not going to give up. You know, there's a verse in Hebrews chapter 12, and I'll read it out to you. It's in Hebrews 11 verse 13. It says, "Every one of these people died, but they still had faith, even though they had not received what they had been promised. They were glad just to see these things from far away, and they agreed that they were only strangers and foreigners on this earth." That is so true. We're only strangers, we're only foreigners. The race that God has called us to run is a long one, and we need patience to see it through to the finish. And even if it seems that we're hamstrung sometimes, if we just keep on moving forward, show patience, know that the finish line is going to come eventually, then we put ourselves in good stead to receive the reward that God has for us. There's a story about a man, and his name, he was an athlete. He actually represented England or Great Britain in the Olympic Games in the 400 meters at the Barcelona Olympics. Derek Redmond was his name, and he was racing in the semi-finals, racing for a place for the final in the 400 meters, and with about 200 meters to go, he pulled a hamstring, and he literally was hamstrung, and he couldn't run anymore. So rather than give up, he decided he was going to hop to the finish line in front of how many thousands of spectators were in the stadium there in Barcelona. He decided to hop to the finish line, and it's quite an inspiring story because his father broke through security, came to see Derek, who was hopping down the straight towards the finish line, and he said to his son, "Look, Derek, you don't have to do this. You don't have to hop to the finish line. Let's get out." And he says, "No, Dad, I want to finish this race. I started it. I want to finish it. Torn hamstring and all. I want to finish this race." So Derek's father says to him, "Look, if we're going to finish the race, we'll finish it together." And they hopped. They just moved very, very slowly from where they were to the finish line, and they received a great round of applause from the thousands of people who were inspired by these two, by this father and son example. Even though they weren't going to get to the finish line quickly, they still, with patience, they made it to the finish line anyway, and it was great. A great inspiring story. And it's just like us as Christians too. We are also called to run. We may be hamstrung sometimes by, by the internal challenges of isolation, or by just feeling impure in an impure world, or even by just, we might get a little bit impatient sometimes. But the Bible, but it's very, very clear that for every Christian who's called to run, that's you and me, there is a finish line, and if we just keep running, if we just keep moving forward, we will get to the finish line eventually. And there are thousands upon millions upon even billions of people who are unseen, but they're cheering us on. They're cheering us on because we have run our particular race. So thank you for watching the series. We're going to do another one very, very soon. So but I just want to encourage everyone who's watching this video, wherever you are, all over the world, just keep running the race. Keep running the race, and you'll get to the finish line. And God will be very pleased, and you've got a lot of support through people who have run the race before you. God bless you, and we'll see you next time. See ya. Bye.